Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the elevator pitch. And today's guest is unique. He is number one. He is a breaker of barriers, a breaker of bridges, Kareem Edwards.
Pleasure.
Kareem grew up in Queens, went from Queens to Greencastle, Indiana, and I know a little bit about that story. But more importantly, he is the first and currently only black franchisee for Chick-fil-A in the Chicago metropolitan area. Is that right?
In Chicago downtown.
In Chicago downtown?
My brother in Gurney as well.
Okay.
And I'm proud to say there's one more coming.
There we go. Right,
future, yeah.
right. You know, open the door,
There you go.
run through it. So really excited to have Kareem on here and wanted to have him on here because number one, he's a family man,
Oh, yeah.
right? And number two, he is got an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
And so number three, why don't you kick it off, Kareem, and tell us a little bit about how a guy who grew up in Queens, in the shadows of Queens College, ends up at DePaul.
As mentioned, born and raised in Far Rockaway, Queens, raised by a single mother. She is from Trinidad and Tobago, so immigrant backstory. From an early age, she kind of instilled my brother and I just hard work, care, and community. So with that, started working at the age of 13, got my second job at 14. I was kind of head down about working until I had the opportunity to travel abroad to Germany, and then a young lady told me about a nonprofit scholarship program called the Posse Foundation. Posse started in 1989 by Debbie Beal. She gathered a group of kids, call them roughly about 20 or 30, all who dropped out of college, and asked the question, why did you drop out? One brave soul back in '89 said, if I had my posse with me, I would have stayed. So she came with the idea of sending kids from urban areas, inner cities, to the colleges like the Vanderbilts, the Michigans.
Vanderbilt was the first school, right?
Vanderbilt was the first school.
Oh.
DePaul University, Brandeis, Middlebury, these top colleges and universities in groups of 10 to 12 as a posse so you can have that support system. So I was awarded a full tuition, merit-based scholarship through the Posse Foundation back in 2002 and attended DePaul University in 2003, graduated with a mathematics degree in 2007.
Love math majors. Math majors rule the world. So, hey, so your mom's from Trinidad. I was born in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that immigrant, that immigrant mentality is very important. And you worked at 13. What was your first job? And then talk a little bit about your mom specifically and how she impacted your approach to the world.
Yeah, my first job was at King David in Long Island, a kosher diner back in Long Island, New York. Started as a busboy.
Is there any other kind?
Yeah, that's the best one.
I mean, all right.
Yep, started as a busboy, eventually became a waiter, and then got a second job as a caddy on a golf course in Long Island as well.
Caddy,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, so just doubling down, trying to help the mom out, help the family out. But my mom, she would wake up, I think 5 a.m. and then start cooking most mornings. So my brother and I got a home cooked meal. And then we would leave with her to go to her job by 6:30. She would start work at 7, and then she'll take a break at 8 to drop me to school.
Wow.
Go back to work. My brother and I would go home around, call it 2:30, 3 o'clock. She would come home around 3 o'clock, finish cook, and then go work her second job.
That's incredible.
So you talk about like the grit and just determination to kind of do better, provide more for the family.
That's
I
incredible.
saw her every day through her.
Man, that's an amazing story, right? So kudos to your mom. I mean, again, that the immigrant mentality is when you get here, you have to make the most of it, and it's clearly your mom did that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. She set the example from a young age.
So I was reading some things about you, man, and here's what. So great grasp of regulatory landscape, willing to take a risk. You embrace change and embrace accountability. Can you talk a little bit? Are those kind of the tenets that rule your life, or is there something? Or are there other things that you would add to that?
Yeah, I think my values start with integrity. So anything I get involved with or touch or partake in, I need to feel good about it.
Right.
And make sure I'm doing my best. Grit is another value of mine. I think a lot of times people have opportunities. That is a privilege, so I don't want to complain about it. Just got to power through and make the best out of it. And then thirdly, community. And that starts at home for me.
Right.
To make sure I take care of my loved ones, and then how do I give back to the community as well.
Right. Yeah. And how have you been giving back to the community? First, talk about how you even got to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. That process stems from community. So I went to University of Michigan Ross School of Business.
That's right.
At the time, I left Michigan, started a new career in CPG at Kraft Heinz. During that time, a fellow Michigan alum was working at Chick-fil-A corporate.
Right.
It's a group chat of roughly 60 gentlemen who left Ross, and he just posed a question: if anyone is interested in working at Chick-fil-A, reach out to me. So I always had this interest in entrepreneurship, also solving problems. So I reached out to him like, hey, if I could grab 15 minutes of your time to understand what this looks like, that would be great. He explained the process in terms of how to navigate interviews and so on, but he worked at corporate, not the franchise side. So after that, I went to two of the local owners in Chicago, and just asked them for time, for guidance, and even to work at their store.
Oh, so you did some working.
So the interview process at the time was probably about 3.5 years long.
Wow.
So I left Kraft, got the opportunity to work at Google. So I was working at Google.
Right.
And then we had our firstborn. I would go work at Google for, let's call it 7 to 3 o'clock, come home, spend some time with my newborn, and then go work at Chick-fil-A.
There you go.
Yeah.
What year was that?
This was 2019.
2000. So right before COVID hit.
Yeah, like the back end of 18, top of 19.
Okay.
So I would go work on fries, cash register, understand the business operation, work with the owner to kind of interview, just so I feel like, hey, I'm saying I want to do this, but do I really want to do it?
Right.
And get the in and outs of it. So did that for about a year, off and on, and then was blessed with the opportunity to open up a store in the South Loop.
Well, I tell you what, so there's some little people in my life, and we go to Chick-fil-A, right, regularly. And I used to work at McDonald's growing up, and this is a humble brag, it's coming, but I received a tip working at McDonald's, right?
Okay.
From a lady coming through the drive-thru. I'm always telling people, I'm like, you know why I go to Chick-fil-A? This is the honest to God truth, because the people who are working in the drive-thru are so good.
Yeah.
And so good, right? And that, like, from a cultural dynamic, maybe one time have I ever been like, but I can tell you if I were to compare the percentage of time that I've gone to McDonald's, this is not a knock on McDonald's, but like the service is apples and bowling balls.
I think we take pride in like servitude and hospitality, and how do you create space for anyone to feel welcome.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, I think it's clear. So you like the model that they proposed to you, and then how did it work? How did you actually get the franchise?
So my wife and I, we moved to Chicago in 2009 after leaving New York.
Okay. College sweethearts?
College sweethearts,
there you go.
So we've been together 20 years.
There you go.
16.
There you go.
She's from Cincinnati, so she despised New York. I'm like, all right, I can't live in nasty natty, so we're gonna migrate and settle in Chicago. And the first place we lived was in the South Loop.
Okay.
So to me, the South Loop, I mean, you know, the Chicago, 78 neighborhoods, a lot of neighborhoods, but Chicago at times can be very segregated. The South Loop reminded me of parts of Queens, where it's a little bit more inclusive and diverse. So when Chick-fil-A kind of like, hey, we think you have a strong potential being an owner-operator, my push, like, I would love to do in the South Loop.
Okay.
This neighborhood received me when I moved back here in 2009. I think it's an amazing part of Chicago. If I can make an impact and serve the community and kind of be who I am, South Loop is where I want to be.
Right.
After some talking, they were kind of figuring out locations as well, and it worked out. So I didn't have to move, I didn't have to relocate. We just set roots in South Loop and kind of get back in that capacity.
That is fantastic. And so the majority of your employees from South Loop, or? No?
South Side, West Side. We have some college students at UIC, Loyola, DePaul. So kind of a mix, but majority is kind of South and West Side.
What's been the toughest part of owning this franchise?
Inside, you hear like, you know, it's not a chicken business, it's a people business. So the people side is real.
It's not a chicken business.
Yeah.
I want to adopt that. Okay.
Yeah. So I have roughly about 96 people on payroll.
Wow.
So at any given time, you have 90 problems, right? And then how do you show care for your team who's going through something that's really serious in their eyes?
Right.
Or just overall. So for example, several weeks ago, when everything was happening in Chicago regarding ICE, like how do we show up and show support to our team?
Right. Right.
So directors and myself quickly put a plan together, like, all right, in the event that someone comes in the store and asks for someone, how do we respond? What do we do? Just to show care. So the people side of it is the most challenging part. And we're not even talking about the guests yet.
Right.
We're just talking
Right.
about the team.
Right.
To show up, show care, show love, and show support.
Right. Yeah. No, that is that. And so, from a corporate standpoint, everything that happens in the store is up to you from like an emotional perspective, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Anything regarding talent,
Yeah.
it's on the owner operator.
right. Okay. So that's been the number one challenge. And what's been the most pleasant surprise?
On the flip side, people.
Yeah.
Right. Like when you could give and make an impact and support and show up, and you see individuals grow and they're just blossoming into who they truly are.
Yeah.
It's the most rewarding thing I could ever ask for.
So what does the future hold for you? I mean, are there 20 franchises in your future?
Yeah.
How does that work?
I think for me, the focus is we feel great about the first store. Now we start to look to expand a bit, and then how can we kind of continue to serve the Chicago area, so in Chicago.
Right.
And then from there, if I'm being honest, how do I get back some time and be a corny dad and attend every soccer, basketball,
Get some
volley
corny
match?
sweaters, right?
There you go.
Right.
Yeah, embarrass them as much as possible.
Right.
And enjoy the time with the family, the wife, the kids, and the community.
There you go. So what about so what's your day-to-day like? What's a day in the life of Kareem Edwards like now?
No day is the same.
Yeah.
I try to make it somewhat consistent in terms of like Mondays I do this, but
Yeah.
you never know what's going to happen. But Mondays, traditionally, I spend a lot of time with my leaders, kind of coaching, developing them, talking about our plans, whether for a weekly, monthly, quarterly perspective. Tuesday, I lean in a lot with interviews. And then Wednesday through Saturday, it depends. I can meet with city officials. I can meet with other owners. I might be doing a podcast.
Right.
It truly varies
That's right.
on
Well, we
what's
know you're
happening.
closed on Sunday.
There you go. And
Right.
then Sunday, I might be in there fixing something, right? Like,
Right.
it kind of depends on what's happening. I think often you have like seasons.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, this season, not in terms of fall or winter, but it's a good season. Things are rocking.
Oh, yeah.
Laid out. The other season, like, okay, I might be on fries.
Right.
It truly depends on what's going on.
So who are some of your business heroes in life? Outside of your mother and
Yeah. My first job was on Wall Street. Until this day, there were two people who helped me out a lot. One lady named Susie Linker. Being a young kid from Queens, she took me under her arms, like, all right, I'm gonna show you the ropes from Bloomberg Terminal, how to enter a trade. And she just gave me that grace and that motherly support.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So that chapter of my life, she was phenomenal. Similar, Dave Pont, he's a New York native, older guy, and he just made jokes and made it easy to kind of understand the culture.
Right.
So I think at each point in my career, there was like a mentor or someone who I looked up to in business to kind of help me out.
See, I love that answer because those are real people. I mean,
Yeah.
not Michael Jordan, who's a real person.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, but like,
Yeah.
some people that impacted your life on a daily basis and really
Dave-
help steer you in the right
Yeah,
direction.
from an inspirational standpoint, I think Fawn Weaver is phenomenal.
Yeah.
What she's doing with the whiskey industry is just
Oh, yeah.
incredible.
Right.
And I think she also does a great job balancing
I have
work.
it in my house.
You're a consumer, right? It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
it's good stuff,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And she also balanced the family side, which I really commend and respect.
Oh, you'll have to help her. Help me get her on the show.
Let's do it. Okay.
Hey, so one of the things, Kareem, that we like to ask people is, you're familiar with the concept of the elevator pitch. You're in an elevator, you meet someone, and you got 20 seconds to say who you are, what you're about, how you can be helpful. So 10 seconds or less. You can make it 20.
Yeah.
Kareem Edwards, who are you?
How you doing? I'm Kareem Edwards. I'm a father of two, husband of 20 years, and a community activist. In my life, I sell chicken. I try to make it small by being the owner of Chick-fil-A in the South Loop. I'd love to talk to you further about how we can kind of partner or support each other.
Boom! He has an elevator pitch.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
amazing. That's incredible.